Welcome to Shell Point Today for Tuesday, January 5th. I'm Adam Brown. Thanks for joining us. On today's show, we'll learn what's in store for the Shell Point concert series. We'll find out about computers at next week's LifeQuest Expo, and we'll discover what happens when residents face each other with paddle in hand out of the pickleball courts. First, don't forget about Wednesday's Do You Know Your Neighbor event. It will focus right here in the good old USA with the city of New York. Have you ever traveled to the Big Apple? Do you have family there, or maybe you're interested in seeing the Statue of Liberty? Well, come on out and join your Shell Point friends and neighbors for a time of story sharing and socializing, all about the bright lights and big city of New York. The fun takes place in the Social Center at 2:15 p.m. and light refreshments will be served. The Photo Club will conduct their first meeting of the new year this Thursday. The Critics Wall Challenge for January is people. So get out there with your cameras and find an interesting group or individual for that creative photograph to share with the club members. If you have an interest in photography but haven't connected with your Shutterbug friends here at Shell Point, then now is a great time to join Thursday's meeting in the Social Center at 2:15 p.m. And now it's time to talk about music. There are some amazing concerts in store here at Shell Point this season, 2 of them next week. Here's Don Boren of Resort Services to tell us more about Music in Motion, the 13th annual concert series.
It's that time of year when our thoughts turn to the exciting concert season, and we look forward to world-class artists bringing a unique variety of entertainment to the concert hall in our own backyard. Hi, I'm Don Boren, Director of Resident Life here at Shell Point. We have a unique lineup of musical and dance performers coming to our community, from instrumentalists to vocals to soloists to extravagant orchestras. It's a great privilege to have the Symphony Orchestra with 63 professional musicians and the new musical director, Nir Cabarati. The Southwest Florida Symphony Orchestra is ready to bring the best in classical music to Shell Point. In January, we enjoy a multimedia presentation conducted by Maestro Leif Beiland entitled Discovery Concert, Beethoven's Eroica on Thursday, January 14th. On Thursday, February 4th, Maestro Nir Cabarati is back to lead the Southwest Florida Symphony in a symphonic folklore to include Mendelssohn, De Falla, and Copland. These 2 concerts can be bought as a series for $40, which is a savings of $10, or individually as a single ticket for $25. Look for more information and the order form in your concert series brochure or online at shellpoint.net/concerts. It's my privilege to announce the lineup for our Fine and Performing Arts series. The Duke Ellington Orchestra has been performing worldwide under the guidance of the Ellington family. Ellington's music changed the world and helped to break down the color barrier in American society through his music. Duke Ellington is regarded as one of the most prolific American composers of the 20th century. His career spans more than 50 years and included leading his orchestra, composing an exhaustible songbook, scoring movies, and composing stage musicals. Join me as we celebrate the music of the Duke Ellington Orchestra. Join us for the Hollywood Concert Orchestra, which specializes in the music that made the movies. The orchestra specializes in musical arrangements of both current and classical themes you may recognize dating back to the 1930s, or to more recent movies, such as Superman Overture, Mission Impossible, or Titanic, just to name a few. During the last decade, the Hollywood Orchestra has toured extensively throughout the United States and abroad, and we look forward to their performance here at Shell Point on Tuesday, February 9th. Our next artists are hailed as one of the premier ensembles of our time by the International Trumpet Guild Journal. as we welcome the Chicago Brass Quintet. Through the years, the quintet has rose to national prominence with the release of its first recording for Capitol Records and has performed throughout the United States, Canada, South America, and Asia. Other highlights include performances at the Kennedy Center, Eisenhower Hall at West Point Academy, and Chautauqua Institute, to name a few. They also have been broadcast on National Public Radio and the Canadian Broadcasting Company. Don't miss this premier ensemble, the Chicago Brass Quintet, on Monday, March 7th. Our final concert in our Fine and Performing Arts concert series is entitled Something Wonderful, the Music of Rodgers and Hammerstein, presented by two talented Broadway Pop's international vocalists, Sarah Pfister and Sean McLaughlin. This lively Rodgers and Hammerstein tribute will feature all our favorites from Oklahoma, The Sound of Music, South Pacific, Carousel, and The King and I, so be sure to join us on Tuesday, April 5th. There's something for everyone in the Shell Point Fine and Performing Arts concert series, and many of you look forward to world-class classical musicians as we bring a unique variety of entertainment to the intimate setting of the Grand Cypress Room at the Woodlands. Each concert begins at 7:00 p.m., followed with a meet and greet reception with our artists. In January, we welcome back Aju, saxophonist, who started playing at the age of 10 and quickly found himself entering competitions and performing at a wide range of famous concert halls across the United States. Since then, he has expanded his tour to include Norway, Switzerland, Germany, Austria, France, Portugal, and the West Indies. He also tours with renowned orchestras throughout the United States and Europe. Join Aju on Saturday, January 16th. Join us as we welcome the Iria Brothers duo. Pianist Joseph and violinist John each began their musical education at age 5. Their talents and gifts for music were apparent from the beginning as each advanced in their own chosen instrument. They both attended Eastman School of Music and pursued graduate studies at the Peabody Conservatory. They both currently serve on faculty at Eastman's Community Musical School. Don't miss this talented brother duo on Monday, February 22nd. In March, the De Ponte String Quartet will perform on Monday, March 14th. The quartet has gained national attention and for the past 23 years have performed across the North America and also across Europe. In 2014, they were voted as the best musical groups in Maine by many readers of the Down East magazine and performed 70-plus concerts there annually besides their tour throughout the United States. That's this year's lineup of the Concert and Conversation series. We are also proud to announce that we will welcome back the Barbary Coast Dixieland Band as they return to Shell Point for their farewell concert on Tuesday, March 1st, with a special ticket price of only $15. I'm Dawn Boren, and we'll see you at the concert hall.
Next Tuesday is the time for the annual LifeQuest Expo, which will be held in the Village Church Auditorium. This event features more than 50 booths of Shell Point health services and programs, as well as local businesses that support these 6 dimensions of wellness. The goal of this event is to educate residents in all of the amenities and services offered that promote a culture of wellness which supports personal growth, healthy living, and a positive life experience. Computers will be well represented at this year's Expo, and Paul Neighbors visits with Terry Kolath now to talk about the technical advice, clinics, and academy classes that will be available in this new year.
Hi everyone, I'm here today with Paul Neighbors of Rosemont, and we're talking about something very exciting for you to do when you come to the LifeQuest Expo on January 12th. Thank you for joining me, Paul.
Thank you.
Actually, we're talking about quite a few things because we've had some meetings lately, and you people who are computer instructors and helpers have come up with some wonderful ideas for what we're going to do in the future to help people. And at Expo, LifeQuest Expo, we're going to have tables, one for personal computers, one for Androids, one for the Apple products, and one for Mac. And people can come right up and ask which technology is right for them, get advice from the instructors, which classes to take, or just see some of these machines in action. So at your computer table, you're going to do that. You're going to talk about computer classes available, but you're going to do some recruiting. What are your new things you're up to?
Well, the big thing we're looking to do now is to find people who have a computer but would find other things that would be interesting or useful for them. And what we're trying to do is to find people who are willing to have clinics that you can walk into, spend 2 or 3 hours learning about one of these things that you might be interested in, and getting you acquainted with people who can help you do that. We can provide documents to you to help do anything that you think might be useful. And we're looking for people who have particular skills that would help us to fill in some of these individual clinics we want.
That's right, and that's a direct response to many requests we've been getting to, don't tell me how it works, tell me what I want to learn how to do,
yes,
right? So these
right.
clinics, and we're doing them in all areas of technology, and the Computer College has a brilliant idea. That is using the Woodlands Computer Center that we already have with all those state-of-the-art computers, and you are going to have an expert at various intervals of the day and the week, and we're going to tell people exactly what topics are going to be covered.
Right.
How are we going to know what topics to cover?
Well, right now, we're just beginning with this. If you happen to have an interest in Windows 10, Floyd Jemison is always there on Wednesday mornings, and you can always walk in and get one-on-one help with him. I plan also to, once we find out what the interest is in Windows 10, to have other clinics at different times, and of course we'll have several of them at the Expo, so you'll be able to see them there. So we'll have all kinds of devices that can use Windows 10, and we want to get you as familiar with it as possible so you know whether or not you want to buy a Windows 10 computer or upgrade to Windows 10, or what kind of things would be involved in that. Any other things? One of the things I'm going to be doing at the Expo is asking people what kind of things they would like to learn how to do, that they might have an interest in or someone has mentioned, and I will keep a list of those things, and then I will find an expert in it, and we'll set up a clinic. And if you give us your email address, we'll let you know when that clinic's going to be, and we'll also soon have a list of all of the clinics available at the desks at each location.
At the service desk, right. So you're actually looking for people who want to learn more to do with their computers.
Yes.
And you're also looking for people who want to share their expertise.
Yes. If you have anything that you do on your computer that you find is useful, that you think maybe not very many people do, if you can volunteer to help us, we will set up clinics where we will help you set it up and be there to work with you. But then we can invite people in to learn from what you've done. And so each one of us can share with the others to try to help make the computers more useful.
That's wonderful, Paul. And we know you have a long history with computers, having been involved from the beginning.
Yes.
And it's wonderful that you're sharing now just pieces of information that people want to know, plus taking the responsibility to organize helpers so that people can walk right in and get some information. That's fabulous.
Well, I enjoy doing it very much. And
we're also going to have an Android table. Larry Brock is going to be at that table. So for people who don't have the personal computer and don't have the Apple iPhone, iPad, Mac products, we also have a table for Android.
Yes.
So please join us at the LifeQuest Expo. As you walk in, go towards the stage and go to your left. In the education area, you'll find these wonderful fellow residents who are willing to share their expertise in all areas of technology. They'll have the current Academy brochures there. They'll be able to refer you to classes, and they'll also be getting information from you. What do you want to learn? And what do you want to help teach? Hope to see you there.
If you take a stroll behind the Resident Activities Center on the island on Tuesday and Saturday mornings, you'll find a group of residents swatting a ball back and forth over a net. Upon first glance, you might think that they're playing tennis, but a closer investigation reveals something a little different. It's called pickleball. This sport involves playing on a smaller court than tennis, as the ball travels less distance and speed. Our cameras caught up with residents on the court last year to learn more about this fun game. It's a great exercise, and perhaps after watching this story, you'll want to give it a try yourself.
We're at the pickleball court, which is just north of the Resident Activity Center. It's a little after 8 on Tuesday morning. We play Tuesdays and Saturday mornings at 8. Once we get going in the season, we'll probably pick up another day or two. Pickleball is a game, uses a pickleball for a ball. Pickleball came from a gentleman whose dog was Pickles. He used to throw him a wiffle ball, which is what this is, and use a composite paddle. Some of them are made out of wood. Game is very similar to tennis, similar to table tennis, similar to racquetball. The court's about a third the size of a tennis court. Usually play doubles here, singles once in a great while. The scoring is probably the most difficult part to learn.
Right.
As everybody will vouch for. This is Phyllis. She's been playing a couple of years along with me. Dawn, who's been playing about a year, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Janet, who's a tennis player, which really helps. She's been playing about a year too. And Marcia's been playing a month, perhaps, yeah. Marcia's the newest player in the group. The scoring is you give your score first, the opposing team score second, and which server you are. Every time you rotate the serve, the one in the right-hand court becomes server number 1. We would like to have more people. In the summer it drops off because some of the couples go north. Sometimes we have as many as 12 people.
Saturday is our best day.
Yeah.
Saturday just seems to bring out a lot of people. And when our winter is here, we have several people that come from the guest house and come down and play with us.
Yeah. So yeah, we'd like to have some more players out, especially at this time of year when play is down a bit. So if people are thinking about it, used to play tennis, but maybe they don't want to run as far, they should come out and give it a try. We got plenty of paddles. We got 5 coaches here this morning. So yeah, we should have some more folks come out.
Yeah, that was one of the things I wanted to bring up. Many people mentioned to me, "Oh, you play pickleball. It sounds so fun." It is fun, but I don't think I could do it. They go, just come and play. And Jerry, Phyllis, and Janet, Marcia are great coaches. I attest that for the amount of time they've spent with me, trying to get me to hit the ball. So don't be afraid to come and try. Nobody does anything but have fun.
Yeah, and
Good point.
and we usually head for the Island Cafe afterwards and have breakfast.
That's right. It is truly an aerobic exercise, really. By the time you're done, well, you can see I just finished playing, and Dawn just finished playing, where we look like we came from the shower. I mean, if I haven't lost a couple of pounds, I'm going to be really disappointed.
I wanted to also mention that you don't have to buy the equipment initially. We have equipment here at Shell Point in the little house, and they're nice enough paddles.
Yeah.
The one thing that Jerry and Phyllis mentioned to me, which I did follow through on, is getting court shoes, because walking shoes or aerobic shoes are really not appropriate for this much, movement.
Love to have some folks come out and give it a try.
And now it's time to cover all of today's happenings, menus, and Village Church connections.
Welcome to the Happenings segment of Shell Point TV. I'm Bev Chandley. This is Caitlin Van Scoy, and we're going to go over the activities that we offer for you here today at Shell Point. We're going to start with a Health Connections class at 7:15 today. It's Bend, Breathe, and Balance. That's in the Health Club on the island. And we have the tennis players having round-robin doubles tennis at 8 o'clock at the Woodlands Tennis Courts. 8:15, the Stamp Ministry will be in the Stamp Room down in the tunnel. We're going to move to 8:30 for a bocce game at the Woodlands Bocce Court. And also at 8:30, the Ladies Golf Association will meet at the Shell Point Golf Club. Now at 9:15, the Caregiver Support Group Therapy will be in the conference room at the Medical Center. You do need to sign up for that. And at 9:15, the Memory Care Group will be in the conference room of Behavioral Health. Sign up is required for that. Now we have open painting in the art studio at 9:15. And at 9:30, match play mixed doubles will be held down at the Woodlands Tennis Courts. The Susie Q boat heads to Woody's Waterfront Restaurant on Pine Island at 10 o'clock. And at 10:15, we have Through the Bible Study Group meeting in the Osprey Room on the island. And the Caregiver Support Group Therapy meets at 10:30. That's in the conference room of the Medical Center. At 10:30, the Memory Care Group will be in the conference room of Behavioral Health. We have a LifeQuest Living Healthy class in the Osprey Room at 11:45, and that's the last activity of the morning. And here's Caitlin for your afternoon.
Well, thank you, Bev. We start our afternoon off at 12:30 with Mixed Progressive Bridge. That's at the Woodlands Game Room. We move to 12:45 for a Health Connections class, Fitness Room Orientation. That'll be held in the Health Club on the island. You do need to sign up for that. At 1:15, Knitters Group will be in the Osprey Room. Also at 1:15, the Shuffleboard courts will be busy with shuffleboard. Another 1:15 activity is Women's Ministries Prayer. That'll be in the Village Church Hospitality Room. The Stamp Ministry will be gathering in the Sable Room at the Woodlands at 1:30. And we move to 2:45 for another Health Connections class, Balance and Mobility Advanced. That's in the Health Club on the island and currently closed. Tai Chi Cha, a Health Connections class with Bev Chanley, will start at 4:15 in the Health Club. You do need to sign up for that interesting class. At 6:45, Hymn Sing will be in the Resident Activity Center on the island, and that does conclude our day. Thank you so much for joining us today. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.
Menus for Tuesday. In the Crystal Room, the Crystal Platter is shrimp scampi with angel hair pasta and asparagus. The dinner special is the turkey buffet for $13.95. The soup of the day is cream of mushroom. In the Island Cafe for lunch, the special is a Philly cheesesteak panini with chips for $7.75. The dinner special is tuna cakes with pineapple slaw and fresh fruit for $8.75. Dinner specials in the Palm Grill are Florida Snapper for $17.95 or Chicken Bryan for $14.95. All menus are available 24 hours a day at www.shellpoint.net.
Welcome to Village Church Connections. I'm David Pavey. Have you ever been replaced by a younger man or woman? I have. Do you remember how it felt? I sure do. So how did you handle it? For me, the experience of being replaced by a younger man some years ago pushed me to take a new look at some stories in the Old Testament about characters who were replaced by a younger man and how they handled it. So let's start with Eli the priest, for example. The child Samuel was a miracle baby, born to a formerly barren mother, Hannah, in answer to prayer. In gratitude, Hannah gave the boy back to God to serve under Eli, the high priest. And with magnanimous grace, Eli adopted young Samuel, the chosen child, as his helper. But then God chose to speak to little Samuel rather than to Eli. James Burns, the poet, put it this way: what from Eli's sense was sealed, the Lord to Hannah's son revealed. Hard as it was for Eli to see his little helper receiving messages from heaven and then taking over as God's spokesman to Israel, not a trace of envy marred Eli's speech or actions. Willingly, he bowed to God's choice for a new leader. "He is the Lord," exclaimed the big-hearted priest. "Let him do what is good in his eyes." So Eli moved over, and Samuel moved up. That was a lesson the prophet Samuel never forgot. And it served him well, for years later the time came for him to be replaced in leadership, rejected by the nation and replaced by a king. Like Eli, Samuel, with great grace, anointed his successor and kissed him, saying, "Has not the Lord appointed you leader?" Then he became counselor to the head of state, content to play second fiddle. So Samuel moved over, and Saul moved up. But in the course of time, God ordained that Saul should move over, and the shepherd warrior David of Bethlehem should move up. And Eli and Samuel never shine more brightly in how they handled competition than when contrasted with this mad monarch Saul, who was filled with venomous hatred for his replacement. Consumed with envy, the Bible tells us Saul eyed David, hunting him as the hound hunts the fox. And the time will come, if it isn't here already, when it's our turn to move over again and let someone else move up. As leaders, we'll have had our day. The Lord will choose younger or healthier men or women with greater energy and fresher vision to fill our shoes. How will we respond? Will they find in you and me an Eli or a Samuel, recognizing that this is what God has ordained for us? Will we graciously help to make them successful? Or will we descend into bitterness and resentment like Saul? It's a choice. So, let's pray for grace and be willing to move over and help someone else to take our place when the time is right. And it will take grace, for as Charles Spurgeon, the celebrated 19th century prince of preachers, observed, "It takes more grace than I can tell to play the second fiddle well." And thank you for tuning in once again to Village Church Connections.
Thanks for joining us for today's program. Tomorrow we will learn more about computers that will be at this year's LifeQuest Expo, those that have a fruit logo. And we'll get a preview of what to expect at next week's Medical Breakthrough Seminar. In addition, golf players will learn about the Sunday mixers that happen each week. Until then, I'm Adam Brown for the Tuesday, January 5th edition of Shell Point Today. Thanks for making us part of your day. We'll see you back here tomorrow.